you know, gangsters and things, you know.
And kill people.
Right. I figure if we had some better leadership, like we have people that wants to be like Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, and these people getting over, like they making it. They are doing a nice thing for the ghettos. And then we have those that wants to be like Al Capone.
Captain Buckney, why are they so violent? Why do they kill each other?
Well, I think, first of all, that you have to look at it in terms of, with many of them, it's a way of life. Some of the fellows will tell you that as far as the gang problem is concerned, that another gangbanger is, he's there to be shot or killed. It's almost like a hunter hunting a rabbit. If you see him, you shoot him. And when they shoot or kill one another, they don't think anything more. It's all part of the game. And I think that's one of the tragic parts of it.
The only reason there's fighting now, that north side being pretty calm, you know, till recently. And so these dudes that I know, my friends, the club I am, don't want these dudes just come over here taking over, terrorizing. Like, lady was beat up last week, probably hurt. A dude come running up in the building, a Cobra Stone, beating a little boy because the little boy splashed some water on his pan. And so we don't like this. We don't want nobody to just come over and take over. So what we do, we retaliate, because we feel that since we can't get out these ghettos, we're going to have to live there. And so we see them every day jumping on the news.
Captain Buckney, is it your belief that the Chicago Police Department should bust the gangs completely?
Certainly. I think it's a situation that I do not agree with those people who say that you can't break them up and that you must deal with them.
They can bring them. Go ahead, Barry. Okay. This is some of the stuff you're trying to get rid of.
Yes, this writing on the walls, we would like to see it leave from the black community. It doesn't prove anything.
Barry, how? Okay, Barry. Is this some of the stuff you're trying to get rid of?
Yes, this writing up on the buildings here, we don't approve of, and we'd like to see it erased from the black community.
Barry, how can you stop the killing that goes on in this neighborhood by the Rangers and the disciples?
Well, I don't know how we could stop it, but I'm sure if we ever got the authority, we could get the black leaders together in this community and come up with something. I think it's going to take the people and the black leaders in this community to put a stop to this.
Well, what's the attitude of your organization toward the killings and the gangs that infest the neighborhood?
Well, it's just like VC action to us. After being in Vietnam, they work the same way as the enemy did over there, and they're enemies to the black community. They aren't killing anybody but black people. The women are afraid to come home in the black community, so it's the same type of action as the VC used over in Vietnam.
It's Vietnam all over.
Yes, it is.
Well, what's to be done about it?
Like I said, we're going to have to get the people interested in to come out and don't be afraid. We're going to have to come up with some kind of programs to give them protection and to come out and
Go.
Take it. How you know your teacher gonna let you go? How you know your teacher gonna let you go? Don't be getting smart just because your sister out here. Don't be getting smart because your sister out here.
Let's get them tight and have them walk right first.
Right out.
Got enough?
No, don't look at me. Look at me, maybe better. Mr. Wright, how are you going to be able to stop the killings in the neighborhood?
We're going to try to organize the people in the community and give them the proper protection by police patrols, by my organization, the Concerned Vets from Vietnam, and to give them assurance that there won't be any retaliation from the gangs. And we would even like for the gangs to come in and let's try to sit down and negotiate and stop all of this senseless killings of blacks.
Have you talked to the leaders of these gangs?
I spoke with Jeff Ford and we talked, and we had our differences where he told me that this is Stone territory, it's bought and paid for in blood. He said if any programs come into Woodlawn, Stone's gonna run it. We see different.
Did you tell him different?
Yes, we did.
What did he say?
We're here. We didn't have to tell him.
Did they tell you to take down the American flag?
We had some guys come by with red berets on, two gentlemen, and came by and asked us to take down the flag. They didn't want it flying in this community. So we had our differences, but we won out. The flag is still flying over our office. Left-wing organizations and even a lot of white organizations that would like to see this struggle. It isn't killing anybody but blacks. So they can funnel money down here to them to keep this going because they aren't hurting any whites, they're just killing the blacks. So they would like to see this keep going.
Are they getting much money from crime?
How do you mean?
Well, extortion for one thing, prostitution for another.
I wouldn't say so much from prostitution. This is something that might be new that's coming on the scene that we heard, but definitely extortion.
How do they go about extorting money from businessmen?
They go into business and tell him if you want to remain in this area without trouble, you pay this amount of money. And if he wants to stay without any trouble, he'll have to pay this amount of money. And a lot of them are afraid to tell the police because the police, we don't have a policeman, enough police to put in each and every one of these businesses. So it's physically impossible for the police to handle it, but he has to pay.
And are they paying?
Yes, many of them are paying.
And that's how the leaders get the money they've got?
Yes, they do.
You think that the gangs will be rooted out of this neighborhood?
Eventually, the people are starting to take a hold. They're starting to dig in and rise up. The people are tired of it. I was listening to Hotline the other night, and so many calls came in from women that are actually afraid, and we get just numerous of calls from women saying that they're afraid to come home. It's a group of men or one they see sitting with a shotgun, riding up and down the street with shotguns sticking out of the window at night. It becomes a regular Vietnam, I guess you would say.
You've been in and around the ghetto area at night. You have to do a lot of work at night, don't you?
Yes, we do.
What's it like at night?
On hot nights, it's bad. It's very bad. Anything that happens could draw a crowd, and where there's a crowd, you get a show off, somebody to say something and get something started and get a lot of innocent people hurt. It's not organized, it's not planned, it's just we all here, let's do it now. And when you have something like this, you can't be effective. It's not organized.
Well, now, what's the next move as far as you're concerned with these gangs? You let them alone?
Well, I don't think as a citizen anybody can leave them alone as long as it's killing and looting and taking money from kids and killing them. Like I said, well, somebody's going to have to put their foot down, and I